vlog. So as you've seen, I've just finished work for the day and I've come over to UQ and I'm just about to slip off my work clothes and get into my training gear to do a training session. Ross is not here today. He's away for a couple of days. He was meant to go to Melbourne for a few days for a family event, but that's obviously been cancelled because they're in lockdown in Melbourne, unfortunately. Anyone watching from Melbourne, fingers crossed, hope you're out of it by the time this vlog goes up. So we're on our own for training, so I'm pretty much just going to head in and get started. I have a lot of 400s today, so at a very set time, so hopefully I can make it work. So as you saw probably from the title of this vlog, I am starting, well, I don't start my new job, I transition into the new role, and it's sort of just going to be like a week-long thing. The position description has been written. I haven't seen it, of course. It's at HR Human Resources to get final approval, but I heard from like my big main boss, and like this is the week, and I've been chatting to the person who will now be my day-to-day manager, and he's like, from this week we just start. So I've started transitioning into the role. It's very similar to my other one. I just lose a lot of the financial stuff that I used to do, which I'm actually really fine with. Was never really happy to do that sort of stuff. It's not really my area of expertise. It was one of my minors at university, but I never really wanted to do it, and I only took it as a minor because I'd started a previous degree in it, so it was just like get some sort of recognition for it. But now I'm definitely working more with, you know, the board and in other spheres, so I'm more happy with that. I'm particularly excited about, I do get to work with one of the development teams up here in Queensland and do a lot of their social media stuff. So I'm really looking forward to that because I obviously enjoy doing the social media stuff, and I'm always looking for ways to increase my skill set and try new things that may not necessarily work on my personal platforms, but I would work on different platforms. So I'm really keen to get ahead of that. So yeah. Hello, it is, I was just going to say Wednesday, it's Tuesday afternoon. I've just been working away this morning, nothing massively urgent or strenuous. We are collecting our membership dues in another state. They kind of stagger all the way through the year, and I was just doing a bit of work on that because we've got this bookkeeper who, look, I don't want to say she's rude, but she's very like high-handed in that she feels like everyone's a little bit below her because she'd probably describe herself as dynamic, seriously, but no, she's just really high-handed, and she works on she's a contractor, and she will soon not be working with us because we do have 2 new members of staff joining the finance team from next week, and then I shuffle out of the finance team, like I've said, and I'm very excited to be doing that. So the only component of the membership dues that I'll be in charge of will really be like the communication out and just potentially answering any queries if the finance team gets behind. My big role in it will actually be reporting to senior staff, to boards, and then like to governmental agencies, and I'm very happy with that. That's definitely to my strength. But anyway, so I'm just doing this is the last time I'll look after it, and I'm just updating all the databases and things like that. And I've been doing it because she's been on holidays, which she's totally entitled to, but she's come back. And look, everyone has a different way of handling their emails when you come back. Personally, I start from the oldest and go to the newest, because I find if you read from the oldest to the newest, you start thinking, oh, I need to do that, but you find out 2 or 3 emails later that, oh, hey, that was sorted, or I don't need to do that, or now I need to do this. But she goes from the top to the bottom, so often she'll ask questions that like were answered in earlier emails, because she's sort of come in at the tail end, and she'll be like, have you done this, this, and this? Anyway, there was sort of a little bit of backwards and forwards this morning, because she was like, oh, well, I've always tracked this, and I was a bit like, well, I've had to do it so that I can do my weekly reports because you haven't been here. And yeah, anyway, she was like, oh, I've got a meeting with like our big boss. And I was like, well, that's fine. But with the 2 members of staff starting next week, there's no way we're keeping you on. So I don't think that because she was a bit like, well, then I'll just speak to Chris. And I was like, yeah, you speak to Chris, because I think Chris is going to be ending your contract. But anyway, we are about to have a staff meeting in about 10 minutes or so. It's supposed to be a big staff meeting. We were told in our finance team meeting yesterday that we were getting a lot of updates around like wages. They did mention in the last staff meeting that there was a chance that you could get a pay rise. It was kind of a bit like, yeah, it was like some people will be getting pay rises, some won't be, but most of you are coasting. And it was a really mixed message sort of thing, for a really mixed message from our CEO. And I feel it was just off the back of he didn't maybe have such a good performance review for the first year in his role. So anyway, we'll have that and we'll see what that says. It's almost the end of my day, so I'm very, very much looking forward to the end of the day. But I did want to show, so it's obviously the Olympics are on us, and in my sport of track and field, every Olympic year they take the opportunity to really update the technology in spikes. And obviously, as you've seen in some of my older videos, I've been reviewing like all the carbon plated shoes and the Alpha Flies with the carbon plate and the AirPods. And this year they put the AirPods, I think, in the distance shoes last year, but this year they released a shoe for sprinters with the AirPods, and they are called the Maxflies, and I managed to get a pair, and they literally turned up this morning. Look at them. How cool are they? Oh my gosh, how cool are they? I'm so excited. I have to say, these actually arrived really quickly. I ordered them, I just happened to be like laying on my bed after I got back from the meet, like maybe not last Sunday, the Sunday before, and I just happened to click onto Nike because I needed socks, and I was like, maybe I'll get a hoodie or something and some socks, and honestly, they had them in stock, and now mine have turned up, and I'm so excited to try them. I don't know if I'm going to race in them this Sunday, but I'm just so excited. They're so light and they're just, and they're just so beautiful. And the other thing that turned up was a newer pair of Alpha Flies for the Olympic colorway. They are just so beautiful. They've got 2021 in them, for the Olympics. That's just so exciting. So that's really actually made my day. So anyway, my screen is now flashing, everything's beeping to remind me that I have this team meeting in a couple of minutes. So I will get onto that and then probably just finish up my day. Alright, so just a quick update from the staff meeting because it was a bit random. Basically, this is like our 6th restructure, so they're restructuring, and I'm going to get an email in a second, just come through my phone. and we've now got like a whole new division. It's certain people shifted out from under another department, and we're going to look for a new like general manager there. And then they talked about like pay bands and stuff like that, and like nothing clear. But I know I'm now not eligible for a pay rise because because I've had a role change in the last 3 months, which so many of us have. Just reshuffling things, so that's how they're going to get out of paying us more money, but that's like a business thing. I've still got a job, that's more my concern, but be interesting moving forward, given that like I have sort of shuffled into my new role this week, but I still don't have a position description. And yeah, it's sort of just like now like, oh no, you can't give that to Lauren now, that's not her function. But then like picking up other stuff, so like I've done a whole bunch of things for the board in Queensland this week because that does fall under my new role. Anyway, it was interesting. We'll see how it shuffles out. I mean, it's supposed to be from the 1st of July, and I was like, guys, it's basically the end of July now. But anyway, we'll see. Anyway, I have like an hour left at work, so I'm just going to tidy up a few things and then head off. I'm the first in the office, actually, which really surprises me because usually one of the other teams is mostly in by now, but we will see what happens. Yeah, so I'm just going through my emails, catching up on stuff that came in after I finished yesterday. I have to laugh. The power company rang. There was like a mix up in the billing because of the sale, and we have to verify some stuff, and they said they'd ring between 12 and 2, and I'd actually forgotten they were meant to ring. Anyway, they've rung at like 4 o'clock, then 5 o'clock, and 6 o'clock, and I was like, and now they've left increasingly desperate voicemails each time, but I'm a bit like, well, you said between 12 and 2, and 4 o'clock is nowhere near 2, so you're going to call back when I feel like calling you back. Other than that, I don't know, it's going to be a hopefully pretty cruisy quick day, not like one of those ones that drags along. I have speed this afternoon, so I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, and I've got to run out supposedly at lunch and do a couple of personal errands, so hopefully I do feel energetic enough to do that, but we'll see. So I'm just going to get along and finish up these emails now.
No. Pretty Caroline, stone cold stunner. She was a winner, started working at the diner. Serves this up her mind to count your blessings, 'cause it's telling.
Sorry, I don't know how great this lighting is, but anyway. So it is now the afternoon, as you can probably assume. I'm sitting in my car out at the track. I've just gotten changed. I got changed in the car, and I think a wonderful international student got a nice view of my bright pink bra today. Anyway, pretty solid day. I actually had a to-do list and I got through it. I have a to-do list every day, but I actually got through it. Some days I don't. I missed a thing with my hair. Yeah, so it's a bit, we had cake. That was really good. We had a number of birthdays in July. We have one to go, and we've decided we will have more cake when that person gets back from leave. I think it's only the right thing to do. You shouldn't celebrate a birthday party without someone present. So we'll have more cake at the end of next week, I think. So we had cake. It's really like weird. So I don't know if I've touched on it before, but I know I've mentioned we used to be one organisation and then we merged in with another one. And honestly, we've lost so many staff. And before COVID, we had this transition where people were starting to work from home. It's always been a possibility to work from home. It was just never really favoured. You had one or two staff who did it, probably to the extreme. And then we all started working from home because of COVID. And the transition back just hasn't happened. Well, it's meant to have happened, and it's happened for certain staff because it's been expected of them. And then other staff are sort of just flouting it. And basically you never see them. And it sucks because we are a staff, I think we were a staff of 16 pre-merge. We've had a number of resignations and people have just never been fulfilled, or the role has been fulfilled at head office. Or we did have mass redundancies, even though we were told there wouldn't be any. And so now we went from a staff of 16, and I think now we would be 9, maybe, soon to be 8, because my manager is being made redundant and the role has gone down to Melbourne. So the head office is in Melbourne. So yeah, so today there was 5 staff in, and it's hard when there's like that fewer people in. Like you never sort of feel like your day starts because you're just constantly waiting for the office to fill up. So there was 5 of us, and we had some cake, and fortunately the 2 people whose birthdays it was were there. It'll be a bit better next week. Sort of my work bestie, he's been on leave for 2 months because he had too much leave. So he got told he had to take leave, and it's been pushed back a couple of times anyway. So he's been away for 2 months, and he'll be back on Monday, and that will, I guess, add a little bit of life into the office again, because we sort of joke around all day with each other and with everyone else. 2 weeks ago, so 10 working days ago, the actual dead replacement for my boss started. And I actually don't know what he's doing, because he hasn't, my boss has had a few meetings with him trying to catch him up on things and talk him through processes and basically just teaching him his role. But a lot of it's been handled in-house down in head office, which is a massive mistake because they don't really understand Matt's role, and there's going to be a lot of knowledge lost when he leaves. But we also have 3 new people starting next week. One of them is a very senior member of finance who would do a big part of Matt's role that probably was a full-time role, but just it was never made then. Now it's a full-time role, that person starting. And then we have an additional accountant and an accounts officer starting as well. And today I got the request. I didn't even get the request. I just got sent the meeting request, and basically I need to educate them about one of the projects I manage. And it was basically like, it said, hey, teach them about this, and then also talk to them about your role. And I just laughed because I was like, okay, well, firstly, you still actually haven't finalized my position description. So I meant to be transitioning into it this week, and you haven't actually given me a position description.
No. Pretty Caroline, stone cold stunner. She was a winner, started working at the diner. Serves this on her mind to count your blessings, 'cause it's telling fair. Put you down and leave you there, don't make them scared. Yeah, it's the ugly truth. How they coming for you. Yeah. No, don't you think you're better off where the neighbors don't stare?
thought I'd do a little voiceover to summarise up what happened at the end of the week and my thoughts on the new role. So I ended the week out by starting to put together reports and starting to get contact lists and processes up to date for the things that I'll be responsible for moving forward. We also have 2 new members of the finance team starting next week, so I'll be helping to get them up to speed on things and just generally help them sort of start to fit in. So to summarise up my thoughts on the new role, I'm actually really excited for it. So it looks like I'll get to learn a lot more about higher level reporting and processes, and I'll also be more in front of senior staff and the decision makers who will see that I'm a valuable member of the team, and I'm hoping that this will in turn present me with more opportunities to learn and for training and upskilling. So under my new manager, I'll also be more self-directed and will need to really be on top of things to ensure that he in turn stays on top of things. So despite being sad that my current manager will be leaving the company shortly, I am genuinely really excited for the new role. So thank you very much for watching another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video very shortly.